Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
This is episode 4 of Moovin and Groovin on Wisp Sports Radio, brought to you by Highlands Earache Drops.
Have you been diagnosed with an earache by a physician? For natural relief due to earache pain, fever, irritability, and sleeplessness, try Highlands Homeopathic Earache Drops and Tablets. Highlands has been trusted for generations to provide safe, effective homeopathic medicines for all members of the family. There's no alcohol and no sting. You can get back to doing what you love. Go to highlands.com/ear-pain to find a retailer near you. That's highlands.com/ear-pain. Claims are based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence. Not FDA evaluated. Read and follow label directions.
Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Claire Deacon and I believe that women in sport deserve equal coverage. Today I will be highlighting some of the best yoga poses for equestrians. Now I'm going to own up, I'm not massively into horse riding. I love horses. I think they are incredible animals, but sometimes these huge mystical beasts can simply overwhelm me. Their strength and size is incredible. Otherworldly almost. I think they're beautiful animals, and horses for sure can really sense a hesitant or untrusting passenger for sure. So yoga can really help with this aspect of things, the harmony you have and that you create with your horse. You know, how you interact with your horse, your feelings and emotional state will affect your horse's rapport with you. Horses are sensitive, feeling-orientated prey animals. Their survival depends on their ability to sense any disruption in their environment. Herd safety requires consistent communication, so everything in the environment is monitored for appropriate responses such as fight, flight, freeze, or return to grazing. So when you engage with your horse, you are part of the environment, part of their environment, and essentially you become a member of their herd. So although I love horses, they can sense my fear and anxiety, and I'm sometimes unable to create a deeper sense of harmony that is pretty necessary for a great time out riding. But I think I could shift this with a bit of work. Irrespective of your level of riding, your ability to manage your energy and emotions will greatly shift your experience with your horse. And you just need the right tools and skills for good horsemanship, and one of them is being self-aware. So to a horse, emotions are simply information. They listen to the emotional message and then take necessary action. So horses sense what is in your stomach, heart, and head. And regardless of how much you try to mask your emotions over, they will see straight through it. It's pretty incredible. So you can't really lead a horse when you're not centered in your body and mind. Practicing emotional and energetic awareness enhances your relationship with your horse. It's important to be more body-centered and honest about any emotion that may be present, to read and respond to your emotions. So to a horse, emotions are information, and as they are to you. When you ignore your emotions, or simply put, messages, so emotions are messages, you take yourself away from your true being. Ignored emotions are stored in your body, and your horse responds to your whole being. So before you go for a horse ride, check in with yourself. Note how you're feeling, what your emotions are telling you, and break down the message and use it as logic. It's not about brushing the emotion under the carpet. It's about owning the emotion and intending to do something about it. What matters most is that you have a body-centered awareness in order for your horse to want to connect with you. Horses sense people who have tension in their body. Your partnership with your horse requires great mental confidence. So self-awareness and emotional awareness is an important tool to unite your horse friend, and also important to find harmony in yourself. This is where yoga comes in. In a yoga pose, you can locate areas of bodily tension and identify your emotions. You can notice the messages. Ignored emotions are stored in your body, and yoga really helps to pinpoint them. Yoga can help you achieve the partnership that you desire with your horse and with yourself. There is a clear synergy between horse riding and yoga, and required skills can be cultivated through yoga practice. We can develop a conscious awareness of our bodies and our minds, which allow us to communicate and move in harmony with our horse friends. Horses live in the present, and yoga teaches us to be present and live in the moment. A rider who is balanced, confident, and in control of their body, mind, and spirit will infuse confidence and focus in their horse. The advantages of yoga for horse riders include balance, body symmetry, alignment, flexibility, rhythm, connection, flow, and mental focus. As you ride with increased awareness, relaxation, suppleness, balance, alignment, and coordination, your horse will thank you. Flexibility is pretty important in horse riding. Tightness blocks that flow and motion you need on a horse. And during the unique state of riding, where you are balancing on a moving base, your body will tend to tighten up to maintain balance. This is why yoga is great at conditioning for horse riding. Many riders tend to have tight hips from squeezing the inner thigh muscles. And when the hips are not sufficiently stretched out, an imbalance is created across the hips. This imbalance limits mobility, which affects your seat position and ability to flow with your horse. This can cause lower back pain or sciatica, and yoga helps to relieve the tension and can de-stress the muscles you use for horse riding. Moving slowly with awareness in yoga helps you to do the same in the saddle. So sun salutation sequences are really good for general flexibility, and we spoke about that before on the previous episode. Sun salutation is good for general flexibility, power of breath, and flow. Yoga can help your muscles respond better to the flow of your horse. It can really help with core strength and balance, and yoga furthers an understanding of how your body works. You can learn to better control and hone in on areas of your body and then operate your body more skillfully as a whole. This coordination will help you maintain your riding position through all of the horse's movements. So let's look at some yoga poses that will help with horse riding. Please refer to the show notes for the yoga pose images. So the first one we're going to look at is frog pose. Yes, you heard me right, frog pose. So this pose really opens the hips and alleviates back pain. The best way to get into this pose is to start off in a child's pose, facing out to the side of your yoga mat with the knees on the mat. This is to first off gauge your flexibility levels, gauge how your energy levels and how loose or tight you're feeling before you delve into the frog pose. So from your child's pose, lift up your hips from your heels and bring yourself to a tabletop pose. So that's simply just on all fours with your shoulders over your hands and your knees hip width apart. From here, walk the knees out as far away from one another as is comfortable. Don't strain too much here. And point your toes to the front and back of the mat. And for comfort, ensure the inside of your feet are on the mat rather than on the floor. Bring yourself down to your forearms and relax the head and neck with the gaze pointing down. Sink down into your pelvis. Allow your chest to drop into the floor and feel your hip joints open. Press your weight into your elbows and relax your abdominals. Draw your shoulder blades together. Continue to push your hips down and back. I personally like to slowly dip in and out of the tension here by rocking gently forward and backward, uniting the body with the breath. So inhale forward and exhale backward into the tension. If there's too much pressure to the knees, try doubling up the mat beneath your knees. And to come out of frog pose, slowly bring your knees together and roll your spine upward. So the benefits of frog pose is it opens the chest and shoulders, improves your posture, strengthens the back muscles, and improves circulations in the hips and thighs. So why is frog pose good for horse riding? Many riders tend to have tight hips from squeezing the inner thigh muscles. So it's really good to stretch things out in frog pose to avoid an imbalance across the hips. An imbalance limits mobility, which affects your seat position and ability to flow with your horse. This, along with the pressure that is applied while sitting in the saddle, can cause lower back pain or sciatica. Sciatica is something that is quite common in horse riders, and it refers to pain radiating down the path of the sciatic nerve, which branches down from your lower back through your hips and buttocks and all the way down through your legs. And this will move us nicely on to the next pose, actually. The next pose I'd like to talk about is bridge pose, and this is really good for people who suffer from sciatica. So this pose also helps to stretch tight hip flexors while strengthening your glutes as well. And to get into this pose, start off on your back with your knees bent and feet flat. And you'll want to walk your feet close toward your bum. And your feet and your knees are hip width apart. Sides of the feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. So basically everything's aligned here. The arms are by the side, and you can press your feet and arms firmly into the floor. On your next exhale, lift your hips toward the ceiling, draw your tailbone toward the sky, lifting your buttocks off the floor. Roll your shoulders back and underneath your body. Clasp your hands underneath you, pressing your forearms into the mat. Keep your thighs, feet, and knees aligned. And just imagine you're gently squeezing a block in between the knees. So this helps to keep everything aligned and just helps you to avoid allowing your knees to naturally fall out to the side. And you can hold this pose for up to 1 minute, or as is comfortable for you. To release, unlock your fingers and place the hands palms down alongside your body. Exhale as you slowly lower and roll your spine along the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. And once you've had a moment to recover, tuck the knees toward the chest and hold on to the front of the knees, drawing them in. This will counteract the back bend. So we're simply just bending our back the other way as it was in bridge pose. And I like to draw some small circles with my knees. So whilst holding on to the front of my knees, I just draw some imaginary circles in the air, and this really helps to massage the lower back into the mat. So the benefits of bridge pose are it opens the chest, heart, and shoulders, stretches the spine and the back of the neck. It stretches the thighs and the hip flexors. And in bridge pose, your heart is higher than your head, so it is actually considered a mild inversion. It gives all the benefits that an inversion does, such as relief from stress, fatigue, anxiety, headaches, insomnia, and mild depression. So bridge pose is really, really good to help improve sciatica in horse riders. And next we'll move on to eagle pose. We've got great names today, eagle and frog. I love the names of yoga poses sometimes. In the show notes on the pictures, there will be the Sanskrit names as well for your reference. So eagle pose is one of my absolute faves. I feel so feminine, strong, and balanced in this pose. It's a real test of mental focus and balance. So to get into this pose, we'll start off in mountain pose. So that's basically just standing pose. And bring your attention and balance to your right foot, bending the knee slightly. Then lift the left leg and cross it over the right, hooking the foot behind the calf and hugging the legs together. If you have difficulty finding a bind here, so if you have difficulty wrapping your legs here, then you can rest that left foot on a block beside the right foot. Bending the elbows, bring the hands to the opposite shoulder. Take the hands forward so the elbows are now in a 90-degree angle. Then wrap the right arm over the left, joining the palms of the hands. On your next inhale, lift the arms up and really stretch out the shoulders. So the higher you take your hands and your arms, the more you're stretching your shoulders out there. Try to stay in this pose for around 30 seconds. And to come out of eagle, exhale the hands to the hips and then unwrap the legs, taking you back to mountain pose. You will probably want to kick out the legs after this. So go ahead and shake it out, and then you can do the same process on the other side. So the benefits of eagle pose are it strengthens the arms, legs, knees, and ankles. It opens shoulder joints, creating space between the shoulder blades. It opens the hips and IT band, increases circulation to all joints, improves balance, improves focus. And the great thing about eagle is you can do the half version on your horse. So you can actually do some yoga on your horse. So while sitting on your horse, you can wrap the arms and stretch out the shoulders. So we're just eliminating the wrapping of the legs here. So you're in the saddle and you're just doing half eagle pose with the arms. So that's super fun. But I think yoga on horseback is an entirely different subject in itself, which looks so courageous and so amazing. Something I'd like to try one day, maybe if I get a bit more confident around horses. I do love horses, so I keep thinking recently I'll give it all another go. Okay, ladies. So that's it for episode 4 of Moovin and Groovin. Thank you so much for listening, and please tune in for the next episode.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
For more conversations from the world of women's sport, visit wispsports.com and subscribe to Wisp Sports Radio on your podcast player. Please visit our sponsors at highlands.com/ear-pain. In the show notes, there will be example photos of all the poses, so please check this out by going to wispsports.com, clicking on listen, and then on Moovin and Groovin. If you have any questions, you can email info@wispsports.com. You can also post your comments and share on social media. Just look for @OlasOceanTribe and @WispSports. Thank you for listening and supporting women in sports everywhere. Love yourself and love this earth. Namaste.